Hi, it's me, boyfriend slash girlfriend slash day friends, favorite content creator. And yes, you saw the thumbnail. We are checking in on our dear friend, Andypants Gaming. For those of you who don't know, Andypants is one of the worst grifters on YouTube. That's right. He's a bad person and an awful grifter. All of his opinions are bad, and you can predict them because he will talk about how everything's gay and bad and woke and black. And the reason that's happening is because of these naughty globalists and just full on anti-Semitism. And that's his whole thing. It's what we have: gay, we have black, we have disabled. He hates that. Any combination that he hates. He is anti-Semitic as hell. In fact, I'm predicting this will be in this video itself. Oh, satanic. Everything's satanic now. Because Andy's Christian. And his Christianity is, I hate everything that's not me. And I hate everything that's not straight and white. So everything's going to be satanic. He's definitely going to talk about pedophilia. He's kind of obsessed with it. And overall, this is going to be a horrid experience for everyone. Okay, you ready? Let's do it. Let's see how correct I am on this video. Okay, so almost immediately I am regretting this decision, but it's been a while. So let's go.
Hey guys, so I was on the leftist abortion known as Reddit recently and was told some of my favorite side characters in games aren't inclusive enough. And this thought sent me into a shame spiral where I pondered what a white colonizer I am. Like, guys, did you know Lamar Davis from GTA is not the right kind of black person? Majima from
I don't even know who said that. I don't even know who said. We are 18 seconds in and already he's just saying shit. Who said, but not the right kind of black person. All black people must be boy geniuses who wear suits. Who said that? And also, the second character he's using, I think the bottom one's from the new Saints Row game, but that one's from Deathloop, a game he likes. Not even a boy. And also, the only black person he could think of that was different was Lamar from Grand Theft Auto 5. Oh, man.
Lamar Davis from GTA is not the right kind of black person. Majima from Yakuza is a toxic misogynist.
Again, who's saying this? Leftists, Asians aren't diverse. They are white adjacent now. Who's saying that? Proximity to whiteness, anti-black and people of color, and the struggle for solidarity. Oh, I see. You don't understand themes. You don't understand what they're talking about. Proximity to whiteness is a thing. You ever heard of the model minority? But this has nothing to do with... Okay.
BT from Titanfall 2 has internalized homophobia. Solaire of Astoria looks like he fought in the Crusades. But y'all, here's the really cool part.
No one's
Game
saying
developers
this.
in 2025 at the low price of $100 per game have promised to level up all of our old, beloved, bigoted side characters and replace them with new inclusive ones. And their solution is to simply replace all side characters with Deborah Wilson now. What's better than a hilarious, loyal...
Are we doing this again? Are we doing Deborah Wilson again? Andypants, this is... You put this video a day ago. How are we doing Deborah Wilson still? It's been done. It's over. Deborah Wilson's won. He's won gaming.
Robot who accompanies you the whole game? Oh, how about an angry, unattractive black girl boss who tells you what a white land stealer you are?
Okay, so first off, he's mentioning this is from Apex. And then the other game is from a different company, which is Suicide Squad, done by Warner Brothers Games, done by was part of Warner Brothers game, but it's done by why can't I remember people who do the Gotham series, Rocksteady, Jesus Christ. In which her character doesn't do that. And then he brings up Wolfenstein: The New Colossus, a game where Nazis took over America.
How about an angry, unattractive black girl boss who tells you what a white land stealer you are?
Hey, Englishman, I'm gonna need a new home for my people. Power outlets, radio room access, and a can. You got it?
Please.
Say what?
Please. You ask for something, you say please. And don't fucking call me Englishman.
Okay, you wanna step to me, motherfucker, or you wanna get shit done? Because I'm game either way. All right, listen up.
Hey, real quick, how was him talking to her, telling him not to call her Englishman, him being cucked? That's why he had to write. Imagine the cuck dress wearing white guy who actually likes Deborah Wilson in games. You have to imagine it because it's not real. You don't have to be a cuck like Deborah Wilson in games. Is this just about Deborah Wilson?
Brothers and sisters, the touchy English.
I truly think Swedish men have a weird fetish for bossy black women. This is one game. This is one game that they did that had her in it. And now we're generalizing all Swedes?
Is gonna show you where to set up shop.
By the way, is there a more cucked game studio than Machine Games? You know every dude there wears a dress and worships the devil. Or how about in Call of Duty, instead of another mission with Frank Woods, you get more scenes with Deborah Wilson calling you a hateful bigot? Yes! I'm sure you guys saw her in Jedi Fallen Order.
Hey, how come you're not playing the scene about that? Why aren't you playing the scene where she does that in the game? Andy, why aren't you playing the scene where she does that in the game?
I like to imagine the pitch meeting at EA. All right, boys, who's a really fun side character that Cal Kestis can have? Yoda? Boba Fett? Ooh, yeah, sorry, folks. Best we can do is Deborah Wilson. Meanwhile, Activision is scratching their head, wondering why video game spending has driven off a cliff the past year.
Oh, it's because of Deborah Wilson.
Reason, but it's a big reason.
That's
you guys
right.
Fucking replaced all the good characters with dog shit characters.
That's not anything with Activision. Andy, you are so bad at this. Where is your line of logic? How is this Activision's fault?
Why video game spend we can do is Deborah Wilson.
First and foremost, how do we monetize child slavery? Like, what is your grift at this point? Are you just the weird guy who tries to rely on the fact that he's Christian and be like, this is why they're so terrible and this and this and that? Or are you uber gamer guy who just wants games to be apolitical? Or are you gamer guy who just wants hot girls in games? Like, you're saying kids love a 60-year-old black girl boss. Kids aren't playing Wolfenstein, right? Kids are playing Fortnite and Roblox. Kids aren't playing Wolfenstein because that's rated M for mature. Adults are playing Wolfenstein. Adults are playing Call of Duty. That's what the rating's for.
Meanwhile, Activision is scratching their head, wondering why video game spending has driven off a cliff the past.
I know I'm pausing so much right now. The reason video game spending has driven off a cliff in terms of what revenue for hardware and all that stuff too, is because people can't afford shit because shit's more expensive, you moron. It has nothing to do with Deborah Wilson being in video games. She's not even in every video game. That's so stupid. That's so dumb. She was in the recent Doom game, and guess what? They sold 3 million copies in a week. Most successful launch for id. 7 times more than Doom Eternal.
Past year. This isn't the only reason, but it's a big reason. You guys fucking replaced all the good characters with dog shit characters. Instead of another.
Wait, hold on. Okay, so let's do this. They said they replaced Lamar from GTA 5 with Deborah Wilson in what, GTA 6? That's a character I believe from Red Dead Redemption, and you're saying that's Deborah Wilson from Jedi Academy, or sorry, from Jedi Survivor. That's from, I believe that is from Saints Row. That is her from maybe Call of Duty. That's from Apex. That is her in Forspoken. That is from Yakuza, and that is from Machine Head Games, Wolfenstein 2. Do you see how nothing he says makes sense? You cannot replace a character from a different franchise with another character from a different genre of a different franchise of a different company. That's not how replacement works.
Fucking replaced all the good characters with dog shit characters.
And I'm sorry. I know. Yakuza just came out with Pirate Yakuza, starring Majima. What are you talking about? Replaced her how? He has his own game. She doesn't.
Big reason. You guys fucking replaced all the good characters with dog shit characters.
Oh my God.
Instead of another Frank Woods or Barry Wheeler or Cesar Valpindo, they gave us Deborah Wilson. Instead of edgy, funny companions, they make you feel like you're in a meeting with HR. Did you know that Xbox within the last few years is either planning to release or has released 6 games with a black girl boss as the main character?
Wow,
These
six games with a black character from 2021 till now. So over a 4-year period, they released 6 games with a black character. Jesus Christ! Or they're planning to. So you know how many games were released so far? 4. 4 in 4 black people in 4 years. That's a black a year. I think Flintlock and Redfall came out in the same year. The Gunk came out like in 2021. So there was a year where there was no blacks.
Has released 6 games with a black girl boss as the main character.
6
These companies hate men, and they hate white men in particular. Microsoft is one of the most racist companies on earth and will...
Microsoft product inclusion, white men equal bad. Where does it say that though? I just love this video. All his videos have to force you to reach this conclusion because the own evidence he provides shows you nothing.
Get into that more later. So in this video, I want to explore some of the most egregious examples of black lesbian girl boss insertion in video games. Then I want to talk about how we ended up here, and then I want to talk about a solution.
Examples of black girl boss insertion. How did we get here? How can we end anti-white racism? There is no anti-white racism. I solved it for you. You're just a baby.
Guys, I also wanted to mention that Steam has now banned my video game from their store. They decided that Chad versus the Gay Nazis is simply too edgy for their storefront, and so for now, I'm selling the game on Shop.
Too edgy for their storefront. Mind you. Hold on. We're gonna take a break from here. I'm not gonna show you my Steam account, but we're gonna just some of the games that you can play on Steam right now. Okay. You can play Hottest Adult Game Bundle, Too Hot Adult Game Bundle, Best Kuko Adult Games, Horny Villa, Subverse, My Bimbo Dream Season 1, Desert Stalker, Carnal Instinct. You can play all these adult games. Let's go about violent games. What about a fucking violent game? It's like I want games that have violence. I want bloody games with lots of blood in there. Just gory games. You can hear Gun Violence and Twisted Realms, Death Puddle, Beauty and Violence, the Outlast Trials, Outlast, Doom, Fallout 4, Grand Theft Auto Complete Collection, Fear and Hunger. So you can play Hotline Miami. You can play games on here on just Steam alone that are very violent. You can play Manhunt. You can play Manhunt. You can buy Manhunt right now from Rockstar Games on Steam for $9.99. You can also, if you want to waste your money, you can buy Hatred. You can buy Hatred, and Hatred sucks, but it's available to play. If all these games can be on there, Andy, if they can do that and you can't, it's probably because your game is no good, Andy. It sucks. That's probably why it's not available. Just putting it out there.
And support this movement. Guys, this game calls out the LGBTQ satanic pedophile crowd directly, and so of course they're going to do everything they can to try to get my game canceled. It's
because your game sucks. Kill white Christians, and you have Disney and the Star of David. Like, your game is just a hallucinatory fucking nightmare of your own creation, and probably AI.
Definitely the edgiest video game you will ever play. It takes about 2 hours to beat. It's kind of a top-down 2D action shooter, but it's also
female pilot / DEI hire.
About 2 hours to beat. It's kind of a...
We're still doing that. I got this job because I'm a black lesbian. I don't even know what these blinky lights do, and this is just the whole game. I bet you. Like that's such a I think I broke my chair out of rage. But like that's the problem these guys have. They're so unoriginal that they have the one joke and they run it into the ground. Trans right or human right. He has a trans thing in every possible place, just to be like, look how woke and dumb people are. I'm a DEI hire.
A top-down 2D action shooter, but it's also really a story more than anything else. For now, it's only available on Windows PCs. I hope to bring it to other platforms soon.
Destiny Charisma Smith, Vice President, down with white man, cheers, down with tyrants, cheers, except when we are tyrants and it's different. That's not even funny. Like, you're not even subtle. Like, this is awful.
But it's like 800 megabytes big, and it will run on absolutely any old PC. All right.
I'm sure it will.
So the first thing people say to me when I bring this up is, Andy, why are you so racist? Why do you hate black women? My brother in Christ, are you blind? Can you not see the anti-white racism when 30 of the last 50 video games have a black girl boss as the main character?
Weird. He said it was a planned 6 of them. And now he's saying 30 out of 50 have a black girl boss character, which obviously he's adding the girl boss thing because having a black woman anywhere for him is girl bossing. But then just have there only been 50 games that have come out? Was Doom black girl boss? Was Expedition 33 black girl boss? Was Blueprints black girl boss? Where are you getting these numbers from, Andy?
I'm not racist. I don't need every character in a game to be white.
Yes, you do.
I can also recognize a ridiculous pattern when I see it. Guys,
you're blinder than Actmams. Oh my god.
Game to be white, but I can also recognize
you're blinder than the Actman if you can't see this pattern. I loved how because you got cooked by Actman, you've never let it go. Oh, you're so pathetic. And the pattern is Redfall doesn't even count. That's not a main character. That's one of like 4 or 5 characters. And guess what? You can play as a white person. Clockwork Revolution hasn't come out yet. State of Decay, you also play as multiple characters. Like, and what? You want South of Midnight to be about a white person? Like, bro. Oh my God, we're 3 minutes into this.
Recognize a ridiculous pattern when I see it. Guys, I grew up in the 80s and 90s. We
solved racism by the 90s. Okay.
Cosby Show and Family Matters. We loved Blade and Eddie Murphy and Chris Tucker. What actually happened is the LGBTQ movement, guided by the noses, showed up and they decided digging up racism and acting like it's still a problem was their best ticket to ride to regain societal control. Let's look at some of Xbox's huge AAA games they're spending billions of dollars making right now. South of Midnight.
South of Midnight was not a huge AAA game when they spent billions of dollars making. South of Midnight was literally made by Compulsion Games with the express purpose of making it an AA title, which is why it's $40. Same thing with Flintlock. Redfall did not get billions of dollars. Clockwork Revolution has not come out yet. The Gunk is not a big franchise. None of these are AAA games. Besides, maybe possibly State of Decay.
State of Decay 3, Flintlock Siege of Dawn, The Gunk, Clockwork Revolution, and Redfall. What about Sony? Fair Games, Forspoken.
Fair Games is not... So here's what he's doing. Fair Games hasn't come out. Concord, why is Concord here with Black Girl Boss? Because he put black people on the cover when he could find them, even though Fair Games, it hasn't come out. Probably won't come out for a while. And as a hero shooter, Concord has other characters there too. Deathloop was one of the games that Andypants himself loved. Nadine has been in one game as a playable character. Like
Deathloop, Uncharted Lost Legacy. Concord had 3 black female main characters.
That's not how that works. Also, he says not a white man in sight. There's a white man directly left of the green one, the bottom that he's circling. Left to right, yellow robots, I think Asian woman, white guy. Right there. Right fucking there. There's a white guy literally right there.
In it, by the way. This isn't even getting into the deletion and humiliation of men from games like Suicide Squad to Assassin's Creed Shadows. 20 years ago, game companies like Xbox and Sony were throwing billions of dollars at based masculine games.
Oh my
This
God,
is how we
dude.
got Uncharted, Metal Gear, God of War, the GTA games, Gears of War, Halo. But guess what Xbox is throwing money at now? Gay, black, girl boss games that nobody wanted and nobody asked for. South of Midnight cost $30 million to make. In this folktale from modern times, Hazel...
So we're saying he's saying he's not racist, but he's doing this. Also, he always adds gay and black together because that's his thing on his channel. To my knowledge, Hazel's not any of those. She's not gay. This isn't about her sexuality. This is about her becoming a weaver, magical powers.
will need to reconcile the weight of family, history, and legacy against her own identity. Oh, sick. A $30 million sermon about racism.
That's not what this game's about. Like, he obviously didn't play it or watch him play it or do any fucking research.
This game is going to be about as fun as a pinecone enema. And yep, there's the old racist white woman and main bad guy right on time. This game, which was made by a bunch of Canadian trans people, is about as authentically Southern as Michael Scott. And
so I guess I shouldn't go without saying, but that is not the people who made it. Compulsion Games are white people from, I believe, like Montreal. So, or from Canada at least. So this isn't even like remotely accurate.
In the office being like, there has been a murder. So I actually played a few hours of this game just for content, and this is not a joke. The evil creatures in the game are called haints. A haint in black folklore is a ghost, and the KKK, of course, dressed up in sheets to look like ghosts and were sometimes called haints. So you are essentially fighting the Ku Klux Klan.
Wow. Andy, you fucked up here. Because I also played South of Midnight. And the haints that you fight in this game aren't those ghostly figures. Those are, in fact, the memories of those who are trying to save or heal to help move on. The haints are the ugly tree-looking motherfuckers. Those are the haints. The haints are the monsters, not the KKK. And also, if you want to bring in real-world history into this, saying the KKK dressed up as ghosts does not suddenly mean that you're fighting a KKK here. That's stupid. That'd be like if I was saying, well, in Halo, you fight against aliens. And you know what else are called aliens? People from a different country who were not here legally, illegal aliens. So Halo's actually an anti-immigration game. Like, you have to be a moron to make that kind of connection, which makes a lot of sense for you, Andy. Never mind.
In this game, a bit on the nose, huh? It gets worse. The creatures
Wait, you see how he sped past the actual haint you fight?
You encountered are captured by negative emotions called knots, and you have to free them from these, i.e. you have to free people from their racism.
No, again, dumbass. You just explained they're captured by their negative emotions. Negative emotions isn't just racism. Negative emotions is hate. It's fear. It's like sadness. It's they're trapped by their own misery. And you help them move on. It's not freeing people from racism. What are you talking about?
Again, this is not a joke. This is in the game. Over the course of the game, you find out that this racist old white lady is your grandmother and that your mom was black and your dad, white lady's son, is white. And of course, old racist white lady is not okay with having a black granddaughter. Wow, wow. Later in the game, old white lady throws you off a cliff and kills you, and who would come to resurrect you except the literal personification of Satan? I'm not even joking, guys.
Yes, he is.
You don't see that micro...
Yes, he is joking. I mean, don't believe anything Andy says. Don't believe anything Andy says. He's disrespecting people's cultures right now and spiritual practices because he wants to push the whole Microsoft is funding gay Satanism. Like, let's just skip this part. Andy, you're so bad at this, dude. Holy shit, you're bad at this. Holy shit, you're bad at this. This is what Compulsion Games thinks the South looks like. No, Andy, again, you don't understand Southern culture. You don't understand any culture. Out of respect for people from the South, let's just skip past this part. Hold on, wait. Never mind. Let's not skip it.
Left out. Oh, I don't know, church or something. The version of the South these evil Canadians imagine is some sort of voodoo mama juju South, but in reality, the church was...
So remember he said that they ignored the church. Oh, just give me 1 second, please. Just give me 1 second. 1 second. Trophy Tom's channel, South of Midnight, chapter 4. Find a way inside the church. But maybe they mean a different kind of church. Oh shit, looks like a church right there to me. So look, she goes to church. Look at that. What does that say? Chapter 5, reach the church and Hazel reunites with Miss Pearl and Jolene cutscenes. So Miss Pearl's at the church and Miss Jolene's at the church and they're inside the church. Weird. Weird, Andy. But you said to play the game. You said you play a couple of hours. It doesn't take that long to get to chapter 5. I have it on my stream. I have South of Midnight. You can watch it on my channel. And this is there. So Andy, once again, you are a liar. And an obvious one at that.
And always has been the center of public life in Southern culture, whether you are white or black. Jesus is at the center. And I know this because I live in the South and I've been here my whole life. But this
then why are you lying?
Canadian developer can't make a game about that, of course. So they have to make it about pagan traditions brought over from Africa, which were in reality pretty much completely rejected by Southern black people. But they like...
That's a fucking lie. That is a lie. Bayou culture refutes you.
Like to ignore that. I also remember as I was playing the game, there were these like flashbacks about Harriet Tubman or somebody freeing the slaves. It's like, guys, this is not a fun game. Racism is the least fun topic you could put in a video game. This is about as fun as a pinecone enema yet again. So was South of Midnight a success? Of course not. Microsoft thinks if they double down on hating.
Once again, and I have to say this because all the goddamn morons I deal with on a consistent basis, using random screenshots for a single player game to talk about how many people are currently in the game is never going to be it. They tried this with Assassin's Creed Shadow. Assassin's Creed Shadow had like, I think like 3 million or like something crazy like that. They try this all the time. But look at what you're showing. You just said 122 people are in game. When? What time of day was this? Was it 11 o'clock at night? Was it on the weekend? Was it during a holiday? Was it during like 3 a.m. on a Tuesday? You don't know.
Men, it's going to go well for them, and this is not the case. The game, despite being critically acclaimed by leftist outlets,
you can tell they paid off woke outlets to write articles about their game. Oh yeah, dude, you use Game Rant and Screen Rant.
Has 92 people playing it online right now, and it had a peak of 1,400 people playing it at launch. Microsoft dumped $40 million into this piece of trash. Guys, I want you to think about this. In 2017, Microsoft canceled this game Scalebound. It was going to be a dope, masculine.
You have no idea what it was going to be. It could have been dog shit. That's why he has to keep saying stuff like it was going to be dope and masculine. It was going to be really buff guys. It was going to be super strong guys, and they're going to fight dragons. And it was going to be so sick, and it was going to be awesome. But then they canceled because they wanted to go woke.
And badass AAA game about dragons. And they canceled it so that they could make Game Pass slop like this. And this should truly piss every single one of us off. And I hope that the Xbox game division shuts down. I hope that it fails so hard until they learn that gamers are primarily men and they need to be making games for us. So what are some other woke black girl boss games that we got on Xbox that erased white men? Redfall comes to mind.
How did it erase white men? That's the contention he always makes. All these losers make, but they could never back it up. He hyper focuses on Xbox, hyper focusing on stuff that you have on Game Pass, and acting as if Redfall was this game that people were like, this is gonna be it. As if a billion people were like, what is this game? It's shit. How did the people who made Prey and the people who made like all these other cool shit make this boring ass live servicey ass game with full of bugs? Well, he won't talk about the gameplay. He'll just say there's a black woman in it. I said she was the main character.
The game has 8 people online playing it, and it peaked 2 years ago at 1,500 people online at launch day. There are reports that Redfall cost $150 million to make. This means that instead of Microsoft making this, they could have just handed 1,500 people who played this game a check for $100,000, which I'm sure people would have preferred rather than playing this game. When this game came out, I was running an Xbox channel and I played the entire thing, and it was really bad. I came into it with a very positive attitude as well. I loved Prey, I loved Dishonored, and I wanted to like this. The game has 4 protagonists that are the worst possible characters imaginable. You've got the black, empowered girl boss, Layla. Her special is to summon her white, useless, hipster ex-boyfriend. The other characters in the...
He says useless. It's one of her powers. It's her power. How is it useless? She uses him as her power.
Game are 2 very feminine-looking Indian men.
That's a feminine-looking man to you? Okay.
Named Jacob and Devinder. And of course, you have the white woman with the strong jaw, because we know beta cut game developers in 2025 beat off to a strong woman who will pick them up in her strong arms. Other characters in the game include the lesbian pastor who mocks Christianity. Also, in the opening fire station of the game, there are like these past deputies on the wall when you come in. And of course, it's like white guy, white guy, white guy, Latino woman, black man. The future is now. Get out of here, white people. Guys, they want to erase you. If you are supporting this garbage at all, just know that they want to erase you.
They want to erase you guys. That's why they made it NPC fucking characters white. That's why one of the main characters is a white person. That's why it's a picture in the background of the fucking hub world. No, they want to get rid of you. They want to kill you.
You from history. This made me think of the lesbian fire chief in LA County last year when all the fires were going on. And it turned out she's making like $300,000 a year. So moving on, a few more black girl boss games that Xbox funded I want to hit on are Flintlock, Siege of Dawn, The Gunk, and Deathloop. In Flintlock, you play as an empowered black girl boss.
Everything he says empowered. They're empowered black girl bosses. If you've played any of these games, again, they're all on Game Pass. That's not what it is. Like it's simply a game where you're playing as a person trying to do a thing. That is it. No one's blackness comes into place because this world doesn't involve racism. It's not a real world. They're trying to stop ancient gods from coming back. Like, that's it.
Woman in this Souls-like kind of ripoff. A cucked white dude is your slave, of course. And of course, there's some
not your slave at all. Just a person you know.
Kind of demonic power that you have to tap into because all of these games are satanic. The Gunk was an
demonic power. It's literally divine powers. It's divine abilities. The Gunk is a game where you're literally just cleaning up a planet. Well, let's see how this absolute schizophrenic loser interprets this.
Xbox exclusive that came out in 2021 and has you playing as Bex and Ranny, a lesbian couple that look like they run a dog shelter and go rock climbing on the weekend together. Like,
okay.
Don't you feel sorry for the kid whose parents accidentally bought him this game for Christmas? Oh,
why?
Yeah, buddy, you wanted a cool main character like...
Yeah, little 5-year-old kid. You wanted Gears of War. Guess what, idiot? That picture you're using, Marcus Phoenix isn't the main character. Marcus Phoenix is not the main character. Marcus Phoenix's story ended in Gears of War 3. Gears of War 4 and onward starts with Kate. It's Kate's story. Technically, Gears of War 4 is his son's story too, but it's really Kate's story. And then Gears of War 5 is really Kate's story, with JB being a kind of a dick. Yeah. Yeah, I play Gears of War.
Like Marcus Phoenix. Sorry, the main character of this game has an undercut and likes to get finger banged by her girlfriend on the weekends. Yeesh. Now, I know this final studio was not owned by Microsoft at the time, but it's worth mentioning that Microsoft owns Arcane now. And it's a shame because the gameplay in Deathloop was actually pretty good, but dear God, the story and the dialogue and the characters are beyond awful. First off, the game was made by a dude who wears a dress, so that's your first problem. Secondly, the two, quote, good characters in the game are a black guy named Colt and an angry black girl boss named Juliana. Who are the bad people in the game? Well, it's 8 snotty, bratty, entitled, rich white kids of...
That's not a white person. Neither is Winji. Winji's not a white person. In fact, most of them aren't white. Most of them aren't white. Like, we're looking at the same pictures, right? You know what? Let's just blow up a spot. Real quick, here's the video of the character. I'm going to mute it because I won't play this music loudly. But we have Colt. Okay, so black person. And then you have Juliana. Okay. So the rest of these guys are white people. That character's not white. Okay. Erika Ishii playing a Dr. Winju who's clearly Asian. Alexi Dorsey. Okay, we can say that's a white person. He said they're all white guys. So the fact that, you know, two of them aren't. Igor Sorling wasn't white. Like it's so funny because he's just wrong. Like, he's like, oh, of course they're all evil white people, and it's like, no, they're not.
Of course. The developers of the game actually said they were inspired by Elon Musk when making the bad guys for this game, because apparently being really smart and making a lot of money is bad in their weird, warped, communist, upside down.
You think
world.
Elon Musk is smart?
Just to close this video down, I want to ask why. Why are men being erased and black empowered girl bosses being injected into every freak?
That's one movie. Why not talk about Sinners? Why is She-Hulk here all of a sudden? Let's let him wrap up, but then I can wrap up. How about that?
Movie, video game, and show right now. And I am convinced at bottom that the heads of Xbox, Sony, and Activision, like every single leftist on earth, they are at bottom pedophiles and they are devil worshippers. And that's all they have ever been. But let's zoom out a bit first. Microsoft is one of the world's biggest companies. They could have 500 games fail and it wouldn't even put a dent in their balance sheet. Bill Gates is a known globalist and pedophile. He's been seen at the Epstein parties, and you know he has bought and sold children. Bill Gates is also a staunch advocate for globalism and the complete elimination of individual cultures and currencies and religions. Despite Western civilization making him a trillionaire, the dude actually hates Western civilization and wants to blend everything together into a one-world government where there are no cultural differences and no religion. There's also, of course, Jewish billionaires involved in backing this as well. When this one-world government...
I mean, you have to mention anti-Semitism.
Antichrist...
When you say globalist, you have to go anti-Semitic. That's just the rule.
...will appear as prophesied in the Bible, and I think we are only a few years out from this happening. So how is Microsoft making this happen right now? They're doing this by destroying Western civilization and emphasizing our differences rather than our similarities in things like Microsoft's inclusive design toolkit. This entire framework they're sending out to all their companies, and it sees white men as the enemy and seeks to...
Okay, I said let him talk, but he's a fucking moron. The word inclusion in its own definition is inclusive, right? It is the inclusion, it's not the exclusion. It is being more inclusive. That means they're not excluding anyone. DEI's code for white people are the problem. I thought DEI was code for the N-word. Can we get a consensus of what DEI means now? Because I'm so confused. Also, where does it say DEI? It says, at Xbox, our mission is to bring joy and community of gaming to billions of gamers on this planet. To do that, we are on a journey to make product inclusion an intentional part of Team Xbox. In 2019, we realized the need to create common language understanding around this work, so we invented the product inclusion framework to focus on 4 key areas, which we call the inclusive growth doorways. If you want to learn how you can join us at this journey, watch our video and learn more and explore the resources below. Where does it even have the words DEI here?
Constantly create racial tension. It's genius because they call it the quote inclusive design framework.
Of course, gotta have George Floyd. Gotta have George Floyd, you guys.
While doing everything to bring attention to our differences and divide us. If they can create racial tension, they can use that as an opportunity to enact their gay globalist pedophile policies. But see, like our good Jewish friend Karl Marx would tell us, you can't create societal change without creating problems. So beginning in 2014, the left began to push the idea of, quote, social injustice.
So again, we're just getting into racism now. Well, I mean, it's always been racist. This whole video is racism. Not even thinly veiled, just full on racism. So he brings up people who were murdered. A little boy who was murdered, Trayvon Martin, who was murdered by George Zimmerman. George Floyd, who was also murdered. Mike Brown, who was also murdered. Just 3 murdered people. And saying people are making it up and they're communists. These aren't just people who died. They are every society is unjust. Yeah. Yeah, I would say so.
among the police in America, and they've been riding this fiction ever since. Nobody ever thought to ask, hey, if black people commit more crimes than other races.
So this is again pure racism. This is 100,000% just racism. That's it. This is a debunked statistic where they'll make black people are 13% of the population, will make up 50% of the arrest. Like, that's the way the logic he's going for. Let's just cut this off at its head. We also make up the majority of releases for wrongful arrest. Arrest does not equate to criminal. Arresting does not mean someone is guilty, right? We see that a lot. In fact, if you look at New York, when they have the stop and frisk in place, during that time period, over like 70 or 80% of people stopped were black and brown people, and they found nothing on them. Nothing. Because it's racism. This is profiling. Andypants is doing the racist dog whistles because he's not, I didn't get to my wrap up this. We're not doing wrap up right now. Let's let him finish. There's 2 more minutes.
Doesn't it mean that they would have more interactions with the police? No, rational thoughts like that were immediately written off as racist. But going back to video games, why does Microsoft constantly inject DEI and black girl bosses in their video games despite every single one of these games failing miserably? And it's of course because they're not focused on making money anymore. They have plenty of money. They're focused on social change. They are focused on their gay communist globalism goal in the end. 100 more games, each costing $100 million could fail, and they would not even care. It doesn't matter. Microsoft is focused on societal change. They are gay pedophile Satanists, and they worship the devil, and they are ideologues at bottom. My wife the other day was watching this movie Atlantis on Disney Plus, and it unlocked something for me about how they've gotten so much leverage in our culture. How many movies did we watch growing up in the 90s about the quote noble savage type character? What I mean is a movie that views white people and Western civilization as evil and tribal people as peaceful and good. Guys, it seemed like every movie growing up in the 90s was about this junk. I mean, Atlantis, Fern Gully, Lion King.
Famous 90s movies. James Cameron's Avatar. Also, in Atlantis, Milo's the hero, and he's a white guy. Like, what? There was no savages there. They thought their race. They thought their people were extinct. And Fern Gully, the other species were also white people. What are you talking about?
Pocahontas, Avatar, Avatar 2. Let me ask you this. When you program your child to constantly view white people as bad and tribal people as good, what do you think that child is going to grow up and believe? I truly believe this is why feverish, weird, liberal cut game developers who are like 40 years old now, they're obsessed with black people and they fetishize black people and they want to put them in everything because they view them as exotic and interesting or something. A lot of execs at video game companies like Kim Belair, who are in their 30s and 40s,
holy
now,
shit,
grew up.
First off, wow. Talk about projections. Secondly, you understand that Sweet Baby Inc. isn't a video game company, right? It's a consultant company. You understand that at the very least. The very least, right?
Up on these movies. It's a viewpoint that paints Western civilization and white people in particular as the enemy. When we've programmed kids for 30 years to believe this satanic slop, are we surprised at all when game developers keep believing it? Anyway, I'm going to get out of here, but what do we do in the short term? What I would say is
make games more white, make them masculine, and stop promoting DEI.
Don't give a single dollar to these companies if you can help it. Stop hating on Western civilization. Stop hating on white people. Stop saying garbage like white people don't have culture, because
when was that brought up?
Everything is our culture. Cell
phones is white people culture? Just Europe. Classical music, art galleries and museums, the internet, modern sanitation, electricity. That's white culture? Oh man. Hey, Andy, where would you be without like Muslims? Without Arabs, how would you know the numbers to use on your cell phone? How would you know about that? Hey, Andy, you talking about Europe? Remember the Black Plague? Remember that shit? Remember how it was just in Europe? How come it took the Moors coming over to tell white people to wash their goddamn asses? How come that you don't want to mention that? Art galleries in museums. Hey, what is usually in museums? Whose culture is usually in those museums? If I go to like the museum of like the modern history or something like that, whose culture is that? Who's in that? When I go to the Getty and they show cultures, they show statues, they show fertility statues, they show from different cultures. Not white people's culture they're showing it from. You understand that, right?
Phones are our culture. Electricity is our culture. And guys, I just want to say it's funny because I love and enjoy many black characters in games. Blade, great movie. GTA San Andreas, great game. But I grew.
What did I tell you guys? If you watched my older video, you saw the one that video I was talking about. I'll link this one to this video, the black people video, the black characters one. They always mention Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. They always mention San Andreas.
Grew up around black people and we solved racism in the 90s. These gay, Jewish, globalists, and communists.
Okay, this is just stupid. This is just stupid. So we're gonna go to my point now, which is not stupid. Okay. So it looks like Andypants Gaming is fucking falling off. That's what this looks like to me. This is some of the most low effort content I've seen from him in a while. First off, the premise of your video, you didn't even stick to it because you just talked about Deborah Wilson for the first half and then just mentioned a couple of games that had black people in it, not as the main characters, lied about their sexual orientations in every possible opportunity, and then spent a minute going schizo talking about how it's about a secret cabal and then being super anti-Semitic. You ever watch like a comedian who used to be popping maybe in the 90s, and then you see how their material doesn't age well, and instead of like working on it and being a better comedian, they start crying and saying that, well, you just can't say anything anymore. Andy's already getting into that phase. Andy's trying to pop off for a little bit, a tiny bit. And then he tried to ride that wave. And then he ran into the wave of the Act Man and he got demolished. And ever since then, he's just been, oh, everything's woke and gay. And I'm going to make everything about woke and gayness and black people. I'm not racist, but I am going to do a voice when I talk about South at Midnight, you know, because I don't have anything of substance to say. So I have to do voices that are awful in order to give you guys the impression that what I'm saying is true. Please don't look up actual footage of South at Midnight and see that I'm lying through my goddamn teeth. Don't do that, please. I need the views. Like, how are you falling off this bad, bro? This bad. Your video has 32,000 views after a day. You have 200,000 subs. Oh my God, bro. Pack it up. Andy, pack it up, dude. Pack it up. No one's playing your bullshit game. And that's the most damning thing to me, right? Because if what he said was true, then his game would be selling like hotcakes, okay? People would be chomping at the bit to get this game because it's everything they want. It's not woke. It's so edgy. And we all want that. We all want edginess. We love that. That's what real gamers want. When you can't even get it on a storefront like Steam, that would literally let you have AI asset flips on there, okay? Oh, well, they just don't want the game because it's too edgy. This clearly AI designed game is too edgy when they have Manhunt on for Steam. Like you can play it. I think you can have Post on there too. There's adult games on there. Games with real disgusting content. Games with real adult themes. Real intense content. But you think you're too edgy for them? Andy, you're 41 years old. You are a 41-year-old white man who is so bereft of talent and creativity, you can't even do racism right. You have the same response to everything all the time. I am on your page right now And almost all of your videos, when you talk about black women, it's black gay. Master Chief is a black lesbian girl boss now. Like not even close. And then you have the cover for Assassin's Creed and it's just a fat black guy in a wheelchair. Oh, new Xbox oppression simulator. Damn, bro. 3 months, 58K views after 3 months? Damn, dude. Your Ubisoft video on Assassin's Creed Shadows, 3 months, 62,000 views. Kingdom Come Deliverance, 4 months, 85,000 views. Buddy, it's not popping like it used to, huh? It's not easy, is it? Not so easy when people start to pick up on your grift and understand that you have nothing to say. So you say the same shit over and over and over, and you're desperate. Your top row is all about black people outside of Kingdom Come Deliverance. Your last 1, 2, 5. Out of the last 5 videos you made, 4 of them have a black person on the cover. 4 of them are also about black people. 2 of them being about the same black person within Assassin's Creed Shadows. I think someone might be a little obsessed with black people. Andy, I think you might have an actual obsession with black people. Unhealthy, I would say. Very unhealthy. Very unhealthy. Look at this. 7 months ago, Halo somehow got worse. Master Chief is now gay, black, and disabled. So something you talked about 7 months ago. You talked about it again 2 months ago? Oh, but now he's a black lesbian girl boss now. Andy, what's going on, man? What's going on? Were you burnt out from your amazing game that no one's gonna play and it's already on sale? It cost $20, now it's $10. Are we going through a little bit of people don't care what I have to say anymore? Oh man. Ah, poor Andy. Hey, maybe if you're lucky, they will announce another game with like a gay person in it. You can milk that for a little bit longer, but I don't know, Andy. Shit's drying up, man. Let's see what you can come up with. You fucking lying piece of shit.